left off last time, we were just doing some overland travel. You got to have some fun experiences with some dogs, where unfortunately Feo's not here. It would be much more fun to tease him or taunt him about that. With the shadow dog that nearly dragged him away and killed him for lunch. You guys met some people on the road, got to see some of the stuff that's going on in the Empire, including the after effects of war and combat. And then finally came to a toll bridge of sorts, where these renegade soldiers were charging people and decided to take their payment out in another way against a family. You guys made swift action of them, along with some excellent bow shots and a very, very impressive Zephyr move by Branch, who, was like, hey, I'm fast as the wind, across the open area. You guys got to ask some questions, learned a little bit about what's going on with the war in the Empire, and got to hear kind of both perspectives, with one side saying, hey, the Emperor is the man named Henrik, and the Avengers and those supporting him are traitors to the Empire, whereas the other side of that coin they mentioned was that it was propaganda and the Avengers were probably not involved at all, and Henrik had just stolen power from the Empress, the rightful heir to the Empire. You guys continued your travels and made your way to the town of Tarrin, which you guys can see just in the distance, which is where we're picking up from there.
Yeah.
So you guys are maybe about 3 miles away from it.
Are we there yet?
For the last time, Friedrich, we're not there yet. You can see it. You can see when we get there.
What about now?
God damn it.
Dang it.
Sounds exactly like me with my sisters when we were in the car. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Yeah, I must tell you, my parents' answer to that question was no, 2 hours. So it didn't matter how far away you were. It was always 2 hours away. Even if it was 5 minutes, 2 hours. All right. So what do you guys want to do? Just keep walking, keep trudging?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get to town, baby.
Okay. So it is about about 1 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. It is still winter time for you guys, so it is still cold and chilly on the road. There isn't any bad weather. It's kind of overcast, but otherwise no bad weather. There's no pouring rain or cold. It's definitely much drier than it was on the peninsula and over where Kiev is. It's not, near the ocean so much. There are hundreds of people on the road as you get closer and closer, and you realize that as you get closer to the city walls, that the city is probably about twice the size of Kiev. You estimate there's maybe 20 to 25,000 people living here, whereas in Kiev was only maybe 7 to 8,000 people. You do get up to the city walls, and it's wide enough for about 3 carts to go through, and there are carts coming and going. People seem to be going about their business. You do see some civil guards, which Feo recognizes because he is technically one as well. But they don't seem to be stopping anybody. They're just kind of standing by the gate. There's 5 of them on each side of the gate, just kind of sitting there talking to each other. And occasionally you'll see somebody walk by and be like, oh, I have a question. And like walk up to the guards and they'll point them down the street or something like that. But otherwise, they don't seem to care. You guys walk into the city and it is bustling and alive. As you cross the threshold, though, you do see that a little bit further in, you can see that there is, like, the town kind of goes up on a slight hill. There's a river that goes through the town from north to south. But kind of towards the center of the town, you can see there's another inner wall that goes around. And there's some, looks like to be fancier buildings that you can just barely see the tops of. But where do you guys want to go first? What are you looking for? What are you looking to do?
Are we there yet?
I'm just gonna ignore that one.
Sorry. I was waiting on this one for so long.
Palavenus is just not gonna respond to that.
Alright.
Well, so there are people all over town, like going about their
Oh.
business day to day. There's a picture of the town. I'll send it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
Some of us
so
It's
in
all this
terms of
green
gates, you guys came in. You guys came in from the. This would be the northeastern gate.
Northeastern?
Okay, by Ford word.
Okay.
Interesting. I guess I'm just gonna go to the other two and be like, you guys have any ideas where to start on tracking down cultists in this town?
We should look for dark places. Heretics all are the same.
the Demon's Village seems pretty
It feels a little racist. What do tieflings do?
Unicorn's Burrow might also be a good place to start. I don't know.
Unicorn?
I guess as good as mine.
Okay. So you guys
Actually, unicorns are completely innocent. I don't think it would be a good idea.
All right, so I'll have everyone go ahead and roll a perception
Alright.
check.
Oh.
Cool.
First roll of the night. 17, not awful.
12.
It's just a 17 and a 12. Calamities, you're not going to roll?
I rolled. I got an 18.
18. Okay, sorry. I didn't see you. Okay. Yeah, so all in, if you guys can kind of hear it or oversee. So as you guys are walking through town, you do start to hear there's some commotion, or at least people are talking. Like you see, like people like go, like you walk by certain like stalls where people are, kind of selling stuff, and you come across groups of people clustered together, and they seem to be gossiping. And throughout the time, as you guys kind of make your way down towards, we'll say, the Unicorn's Burrow, you guys get towards that region. You notice that there's kind of a couple conversations going on that seem to be like the talk of the town for it. The first part is that there was a major battle of some kind outside the town of Rhythm, which you guys know is further to the west for it. There was apparently a large battle between the Emperor's forces and some of the Loyalist forces, which is what the other army's calling themselves, is the Caldwell Loyalists, or the rebels in this case for it. The Loyalists apparently won the battle, and that it was a big major defeat for the Emperor's forces. They were forced to retreat back to the major city of Ebenstall, which is one of the biggest cities in the Empire. It's about 3 or 4 million people in it. More so, a couple people, as you continue on through, you hear that there's rumors that dragons were somehow involved in this. There are 2 other sets of rumors that you hear with this, in talking of the Battle of Rhythm, is that the Avengers were present during this battle, that they had partaken in it in some way, and that also because of them, well, the rumors are mixed. So some people say the dragons were summoned by the Avengers. The others say that the Avengers, it was something that they did, and the dragons showed up. The number of dragons varies from the telling. You've heard stories, like over here people say it was like 10 dragons. Other people say it was 2. Other people say it was like just one massive dragon. It's all kinds of variations. But the central theme you always seem to hear under all of it is that there was a battle, the Empire lost, and the Avengers and dragons were involved in some way.
Well, damn.
Well, fuck.
Fun.
These Avengers
For them.
sound pretty bad.
Well, people sure talk about them a lot.
Mm. Yeah. Like there are other rumors going around. So who rolled the 18? Who was it?
That was me.
Okay.
Speaking of dragons,
Uh-huh.
I got a pretty cool dragon tattoo.
Ooh, you do.
Talking about
It's
these
an
dragon
entire
tats.
sleeve down your arm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Check out these sweet dragon tats. Everybody
Mm.
talking about dragons.
All right.
Look at it!
He's like holding out his arm. Look at it! God damn it! Looking at all of you.
Did I hear you say dragon?
All right. So one other thing, Playmates, that you hear, because you perked your interest, is you hear that there was about 2 days ago, and this is you hear from some civil guards. You're kind of walking by them, and it catches your ear, where you hear them. They're talking about some four or five people that just kind of rode through the city just on horseback super fast and knocked over some people. One of them is just like, yeah, this bald guy was like going crazy. But that's all you really hear.
I'm gonna communicate this
But-
to the others. Like, hey, these guys are talking about these people that just kind of blew through here on horseback. 4 or 5 of them. One bald dude losing his shit.
Any idea where they went?
Fair question. Let's ask.
So you're gonna walk up to the guards and ask?
Absolutely.
Okay. So one of the guards, as you kind of, there's 3 of them standing together, kind of off to the side. As you walk up, one of them just kind of raises an eyebrow at you, and the 2 that are having the conversation, they kind of stop talking and they look to you and they go, "Yes, can we help you, citizen?"
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about some people riding through here real quick. Before one of them was like kind of crazy and bald. Any idea where they went?
And they kind of like look at each other and they go, "That way," and they just kind of point towards the center of town, like further in. No real direction. They just go. They rode down the main road.
Good enough for me. Thank you for your service.
And you're welcome. And kind of like one of them, like the 2 of them, kind of look at each other and look at you, and the one that hadn't said anything and raised his eyebrow, he kind of goes, "You guys new around here?"
Yes.
Oh, and
Yeah,
he goes, "Oh, so
you can say that.
where are you from?"
Shit, where am
The
I
United
from?
States of America.
Rode in from
I am
We
from
are from.
Montreal.
It's not where I'm from, but you know, we rode in from over there.
Oh, okay, I'm not from Montreal. Never mind, I just checked my backstory.
No, you're not from Montreal.
We're just a little bit more east. We're from Kiev.
I'm from the Belgrade stronghold originally.
Wow. Far from home, or far from far travels. Then, do you have any troubles on the road?
Nothing we couldn't handle.
Some funky things that we went through, but out here all right.
Well, that's good. Well, whenever funky things happened out on the road, make sure you don't cause any here. Understood?
Of course, we wouldn't cause
We
any
will
mess.
not cause any.
No
funky
promises,
things
but we'll try our best.
Shut up, Branch.
He goes, "Oh,
We mean
we haven't
we
had the
won't.
reason for any of this yet.
well, very well.
Keep that streak up.
Go about your business." And then kind of turns, and they kind of just, the 3 of them kind of look at each other and just turn away and they ignore you.
All right.
Okay, Branch, of course we're gonna cause trouble, but we mustn't
Guys,
tell
we
them.
don't cause trouble. We find.
Honesty
trouble.
is the
There's a
best
difference.
policy, Frederick. Isn't that what Bahamut believes?
We walk into trouble.
It's not a lie if it's a white lie.
It's still in the name.
Not sure how that's how it works.
I'm gonna say it's how it works.
But it's
Oh,
still
wait,
hey,
it's
it's free
world.
drink. All right. Well, I'm just gonna start strolling towards center town, kind of following the main road aimlessly.
Okay. So as you
Ears
guys,
out for weirdos.
so are you looking for anything specific? I mean, the town's big, really big. Like you're pretty confident that you could not search this entire city or town in like a week. Even.
Absolutely.
Well, could we try and find like a tavern or an inn some deeper into the city and maybe see if we can gather more information from there?
Yeah, yeah. So, like there, you know for sure there are going to be dozens and dozens of inns and taverns around the town, for sure. Are you going to ask
I want
around
to find
for?
the yeah.
Okay, so you find that they, like people give various recommendations of different ones, but the most common ones in places like you talked about merchant at one point, and he recommends depending on how much you're willing to spend. There are several inns that function as taverns as well, that are probably going to be what you're looking for. He lists them out. And he says the best place in town, the one place you could get to that'll definitely have the best beds and food and everything for you for a traveler such as yourself, would be the Onyx Peak Inn. He kind of looks you up and down and he goes, it might be a little bit outside of your price range though. It's kind of expensive. The next best in
Are you
town
being
would.
racist?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is he being racist towards me right now?
No, he's going by
Was that
the look of your horses and the fact that your guys are covered in mud from traveling.
we're just modest men is all.
I prefer to spend my money on more practical
Uh,
things.
So he tells you the second best place is a place called King's Canopy Inn. It's kind of a little bit on the pricier side, but for well-to-do merchants or adventurers, it's going to be one of the better places. The middle of the road is a place called the Summerland Inn. It's usually the busiest and probably also the one place you're not going to find a room, most likely, just because there's so many people there. The next two places, which are kind of about the same, he kind of looks you up and down and he says it really depends on, I guess, which side of the fence you land on with the war. But he says the Mahogany Inn, which is going to be mostly. It's a decent place. It's not too expensive, but it tends to have a lot of Imperial soldiers around there. And then the last place he says is a place called the Lord's Lodge. It's the same thing, kind of decently priced, pretty good. Same as the Mahogany's Inn, except it's a little bit more kind of leaning towards the loyalists for it.
I mean, we're pretty neutral, so we could slip in either.
My vote is for the Lord's Lodge. I'm curious. I haven't talked
I
to
was
the loyalists.
I was thinking about the Onyx one, the first one, because this guy popped it up all snazzy and then
Can I look at this guy and be like, how much is it to spend one night in the Onyx Peak Inn?
He goes, one night? He goes, maybe 10 to 15 gold. He holds up his hands and he goes, it's a little pricey even for me, but I've never even drank there before, but I've heard good things by those that can afford them.
My vote is still for the Lord's Lodge.
I agree. I believe it could be a nice place and affordable.
I suppose we can go to the Lord's Lodge for now.
Well, thank you for the information, sir.
Very welcome. He's like, hey, would you like to buy a tangerine at the least? Kind of holds up some.
Of course.
Some basks.
How much is the tangerine?
Oh, I'll
They're
buy
a silver
5.
piece.
I'm gonna buy
I
2.
buy 5.
I'm alright.
I freaking love citrus.
IRL, I love citrus.
He's got his entire stand full of them, so you can buy a bag. If you want to buy a bag, which will be about a dozen, he'll charge you a gold, so you get 2 basically for free.
Alright.
Oh, that's perfect then.
I mean, I'm just I'm gonna buy 2.
Okay.
Just
Mark it off.
for the information.
Wait, so is 10 silver 1 gold, or is
And
So
I'm
it's
gonna
so
throw
10 silver
fail
is 1
1.
gold.
Silver's 1 gold.
okay?
Okay, did you guys buy what you wanted? I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you guys headed then?
What's the name of the place again?
All of them?
Wait, no, not all of them. The one we wanted, Calamities. Do you remember?
Oh, the Lord's Lunch.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
you
have
guys-
Alzheimer's.
You have Alzheimer's, huh? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
for the Lord's Lodge, it is. Okay. So you guys head to the Lord's Lodge, which is which I put down. Where did I say it was? Apparently, I listed off most of the other places, just not there. Okay. So I'll say it's in the lower market area of the map. So kind of the directly west area. But you guys arrive. You guys get some directions. Takes you guys about from where you were and all the directions, everything. It takes about an hour to do everything. And you get to this inn, and it's more of a. You've seen some really well-made inns before, in all of your travels. This place is pretty well done. There's some like horse posts out front. It's a 3-story inn. It's got a tiled roof, which seems a little weird around here because most of the roofs are thatched. And as you guys kind of approach, you see that the sign, excuse me, shows a picture of what looks to be a crudely drawn lord or person of some kind of wealth, with looks like a house symbol over, like a roof over their head, for that. So you guys can tie up your horses. There's no, nobody comes rushing out. There's no stable keep that comes and goes, hey, let me take your horses or anything like that. But there is a hitching post.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to me.
Hopefully, we don't get our horses stolen.
That'd be a real shame.
I mean, I didn't name mine, so now I have attachment.
Same. Duralius over here.
Bahamut's chosen steed of the Holy Crusade over here. Poor horse. Alright, I'm just gonna tie up a horse to post or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, so you guys make your way into the inn, and it's fairly large. It's definitely bigger than the Widow's that you were at before. It's about twice the size for it. Unlike the Widow's, which was definitely very seafaring themed in this case, there doesn't seem to be much. It seems to be pretty simple. There are some, looks to be, I'm trying to think what they would be, hunting trophies, like antlers and things like that seem to be, dotting the walls here or there. There is a faded picture of one of the hearths, in the corner, that looks to be of some long forgotten lord or king, or emperor. It's long since faded, and you're pretty sure you couldn't tell who it is. It's just been there so long, and no one's taken care of it. And the inn is about half filled at the moment, with patrons just dotting tables here or there. And then as you guys enter, kind of stand in. A couple people close to the door kind of look at you. Don't really say anything. But then the innkeep, who you assume the innkeep, is wearing a white apron, kind of pot belly, waves over to you and he goes, welcome in.
Hello.
This
Good
is
day.
Lord's Lodge?
It is. I am the owner and proprietor. What brings you in today?
So you're a lord?
Oh, no. Do I look like a lord to you?
Of course.
I
And then
mean,
he kind
I
of looks at you
don't
for a
know what
drink
it
and goes,
looks like.
"You're a funny man."
Yes, I've been told that before
He's funny
in my
looking.
dreams.
Very well. Well, so yes, what brings you in? Food, lodging, drink?
All of the above?
Certainly. All right. Well, he kind of walks over. He's about 15 feet away from you, and he's kind of just shouting to you at this point. But he kind of seems to turn to help the patron he's helping, and then he kind of walks up and he wipes his hands on his apron, and he goes, holds out a hand, and he goes, "Well, nice to meet you. There's 4 of you, is it?"
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's holding his hand out, kind of looking at you like somebody gonna grab his hand and shake his hand.
Oh, I'm definitely
yeah.
shaking his hand.
Okay.
We'll
We
shake
all
his
shake his
hand
hand
at the same
time.
time. Yes.
Yes! We all shake his hand at the same time.
So you all kind of grab his hand, and he's all like, what?" And so as you like standing up close, like from far away, he just looked humanoid, a human, elf, half elf. But as you get close and you actually see him, he's an elf, and he kind of shaking his hand. He's like, what? Oh. Kind of pulls back, and he goes, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, name's Clark, Roswell Clark. So 4 rooms or 1 room for y'all or couples?"
We can
I'd be game to share a room.
we can share a room. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not
Yeah.
too picky about that.
All right. And he goes, "Well, it's a gold a night. I guess so it'd be not 1 for each of you, but 1 gold total. And if you want food with that, it'd be another gold. Cover all your meals. Drinks are not the same though." He kind of points at you and narrows his eyes.
Alright,
I'll cover the room.
I'll cover the meals. And I guess drinks are on Phil.
Theo's not here to disagree or complain, so I guess-
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure he's having a good night right now, so we might as well have one.
I hope he's having a good night. It's his wedding anniversary.
Yeah, I would
Exactly.
Hopefully he's not being stupid. Let's put it that way. Okay, well, so whoever's gonna pay the gold, I mean, he just he takes the gold from whoever, and then he goes, "Well, have a table," and he says, "I'll be back in a moment." He takes your money, goes behind the counter, kind of disappears in the back room for a moment. And about 2 minutes later, he comes back out, and he's got a key in his hand, and there's a woman behind him as well. Looks to be elvish as well, maybe a half elf. Her ears aren't quite as pointed for it. And she's smiling. She's holding a tray with food on it.
Yay.
So are you guys gonna take a seat?
Yeah.
Sure. Why
Well,
not?
let's pick table.
Okay. You guys grab a seat. He hands you a room key, like an actual physical key, and says, "All right, your room's upstairs, 2nd floor, down the hall. You can't miss it."
Alright.
He says, "If you need any other things," and he kind of looks you guys up and down. And he goes, "Guess you've been traveling for a while. If you need a bath or to bathe or anything, it costs a little bit, but be happy to have that arranged for you." And he kind of turns and introduces you to the woman behind him, whose name is we're gonna go with Lola. Is her name? He introduced her as his wife, and she says, "It's a pleasure to meet you all." She is a half elf. And she puts down a tray of some food. There's fresh bread, along with what looks to be some bowls of stew.
Hmm.
And then they leave you to your meal.
Alright. So now we can talk about what next for our search. Because we do eventually need to find where the fuck they went.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so all this they went in the center of town. and we could check there because they're the type to cause a bit of a ruckus, aren't they?
For sure. People seem to remember when they pass through. Not much for subtlety.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I guess we can have one night of rest and then go there?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds pretty good. My legs are
All
kinda
right.
tired.
Well, I guess also that drinks are on fail, so guess it's free real estate.
All right. So again, it is still mid-afternoon, so it's about 2:30 in the afternoon at this point. If you guys are just gonna kind of hang out, everyone go ahead and make a perception check for me here.
Alright.
All right.
Second.
Perception.
I got an 8.
The exact same roll.
Ooh,
20.
20. Okay. So unfortunately, Branch, you don't catch anything. You're too focused on your meal at the moment for it.
Fraser's just looking around.
Yeah. So overall, we'll say you guys are in there for maybe about 2.5 hours, just kind of hanging out, listening to conversations. So you do hear most of the conversations are varied from person to person and table to table. But the general conversations you hear is a lot of people in the inn seem to be questioning the empire. There's a couple people that talk about like, oh, the propaganda. The imperial soldiers are saying that they're winning the war, but how can that be? They just took a major loss at the Battle of Ritham, and another guy goes like, oh, that could be just hogwash, and somebody else is spreading that rumor. But the general consensus seems to be that most people in here seem to support the loyalist or be leaning in that direction. There's a couple people that don't outright say they support the loyalist, but it's pretty clear from their discussions that they do. A couple people seem to be on the fence. They're like kind of oh, we should like lower your voice. We shouldn't be talking about that for it. That kind of thing for it. About maybe towards closer to the end, there's a couple of guards that you see, civil guards, not the same ones you met before, but a different group. There's about 5 of them. They come in, they take a table. They seem to be familiar locals that seem to have stopped by here quite frequently. The innkeeper knows who they are and kind of is like, oh, welcome back. I haven't seen you guys all week. They're like, oh yeah, it's been busy and hectic. But as they start to drink, you do catch Frederick. You specifically overhear them kind of talking about the same conversation about the soldiers, the group of men that ran through town on horseback for it. They seem to be kind of griping about that, like they were involved in some way.
You know what? I'm actually gonna get up, go over to their table, and go. I'm sorry, I may have overheard a bit of your conversation, but I've heard about these men, but not necessarily who they are or where they're going.
Okay.
Mind if I listen in a little?
So they kind of look at you and they go, "What's the matter to you?" They all kind of got drinks in their hands for them, and they're just kind of like looking at you. They're clearly not on the work. Like at the moment, they're definitely off the clock.
No.
One of them seems to be the youngest of the one. He's kind of like, you see him blink at you, and he's probably already had too much to drink already. But he's kind of looking down at his mug of ale, and he's like, "You talk funny." But the rest are kind of like, "Are you listening in on our conversation? It's kind of rude."
Like I said, I'm sorry for it. I couldn't help myself. It is so interesting,
And you find people getting trampled interesting? Kind of fucked up person are you?
You wouldn't want to know. Anyways, what I meant is, I am looking for these, gentlemen you speak of, not because I like them, but rather because they've ravaged the town of Kiev and, well, My friends and I were there to stop them.
Right. You are after them because they did something in Kyiv. In just
Exactly.
coincidence, right? Yeah. So one of the soldiers, the civil guard, kind of like probably getting close to having too much to drink at this point. He's kind of a little. You can tell, like looking at him, he's starting to slur his words. He's not drunk, but he's probably saying more than he should. He just kind of leans forward and looks at you, and he goes, "And how do we know you're not one of them? You could look like him, like one of them." He kind of blinks, trying to clear his eyes, looking at you.
As you can see, I am of the faithful. Look at this tabard. Look at this holy tome. You think me an heretic?
So he kind of blinks at you again. And he goes, "Fuck if I know. If the two of you would stop splitting apart, I could tell you. Why do you have 2 books? What kind of fucked up person are you? Can't you read just one?"
I need more. More.
Yeah.
More than one.
Yeah, it's one of the guys that's kind of like, who hasn't really said anything. He's just been looking down at his mug of ale, and he goes, looks at you, he's just say more, and he goes, "Huh, you're buying around, alright! More!" And he holds up his ale. And the innkeeper kind of looks at him like,
Yeah, classic.
"What?" But they fully seem to be expecting you now to be buying a round of ale for them.
Yeah, checks out.
Well, know what? I buy you all around and you tell me a bit about these gentlemen. How's that sound?
So probably the most sober of them goes, "Well, I guess take a seat." And he kind of moves the chair a little bit and kind of grabs another chair from a table and sits you up. And he goes, "Well," and he goes, "But it's probably gonna have to be more than one round."
That is fine.
Okay. So the innkeeper brings over a round. So between what they're drinking, it's nothing super strong. But the innkeeper asks you for like 3 silver.
Alright.
Okay. So then they just kind of start drinking, start talking. What questions you want to ask them? Their lips are becoming looser.
Yeah, so I'm probably right now I'm tired of doing the voice. I'm probably gonna ask him about maybe where they went, if they have any idea what exactly they did in the middle of town.
So they kind of give you, you kind of piece together as they're drinking that these 4 men, or these 4 people, whoever they were on horseback, were charging through town and trampled over a couple of citizens. At some point, these 4, or these 5, managed to catch up to the 4, and their captain was also with them at the time. Kind of followed them to, let's see, it would be the Duke's Fane Ward district, where they stopped. That's where the 4 of them had gotten off their horses, and the civil guard caught up with them there. There was a short discussion between one of them. They describe him as a bald man, where the shadows seemed to just swell around him. Talked to the captain, and the captain came back to them pale-faced and told them that there was not going to be any charges and that everything was fine. After that point, because they were like, "What the fuck? What's going on? That's like, that's against the law, and we shouldn't be doing this." So they're kind of pissed about that, because they say that 3 people had to go to one of the hospitals for broken bones. So they're like, "What the fuck? How can people get away with this?" And they vent and rant about that for quite a while. But you get them to kind of curve back to the conversation. But they tell you that their captain seemed really nervous or uneasy about these 4. And they don't know exactly where they went, but they do know they went somewhere deep in the Duke's Fane Ward of part of town.
Alright, I'm actually gonna ask him who their captain is.
Ooh, the one name I don't have written down. Let's see. Let's name this captain. I'm gonna say he's a tiefling. So let's see. What do we get? I don't like those names. We're gonna find some better names. Those are shit names. So he says his captain's name is. I'll go with that one. Zeros. Zerros. Zeros.
Zeros. All right.
Yep, he's one of the captains of the guard. He's been a captain they go on for about 10 years, they say.
Well, I thank him for the information, the talk, and I sit back at the table where Calamities, Branch, and Phil are seated.
Okay.
A little tipsy myself.
Actually, go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw for me here.
Uh-oh.
And that one?
Okay. You come back, and you are poisoned at this point because you are drunk. You stumble into the chair. Make a dexterity save for me here.
Oh, shit.
You're going to give you disadvantage on it, too.
Another nat one.
Okay, you don't have to roll disadvantage.
Oh,
You
my.
literally. So the rest of you watch as you guys are sitting at the table, kind of enjoying your meal and your drink a little bit. None of you have drank nearly as much as Frederick, but you see him kind of stumble over, and he kind of raises his hand and smiles at you, and everything seems fine until he takes that first step, and you watch as he takes the first step, and he just body kind of leans to the left. He seems leans to the right, trying to catch himself, bumps into a patron, pushes off. They're like, hey, man, get off me. Kind of pushes again, and he comes up to the table for you guys, and he goes, oh, man, guys. Oh, and he goes to put his hand down on the table, but completely misses the table. And so he just falls forward and slams his head right into the side of the table, into one of the bowls of stew that's left, and just splashes it all up and over him. And he just goes, ah, fuck! You're going to take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you slammed the side of your head into the table.
Ouch. Alright. Put that table there. Anyways, I try and get back up.
You can certainly try.
I'm just gonna look at Frederick. It's like, well, this is a self-imposed disaster, isn't it?
Since you rolled so poorly, Frederick, go ahead and roll again for me here. This is a dexterity
shit.
save.
Dexterity save.
Yeah.
8.
Okay. So you manage to grab onto the table to kind of lift yourself up, and as you do, your hand grabs more like the edge of the bowl, and it just like you're like, who put this? Blah! And part of the porridge, or not the porridge, the stew from the bowl just splashes into your mouth and your face. You're like, oh, and you kind of spit it out, and then finally sit down in your chair. Like you're just like pulling the chair under you. You are drunk.
Okay. I remember I wanted to tell you something, but what was it?
Probably something about Bahamut.
Yes. Convert now.
Hey, Frederick, I'll convert if you drink another pint of ale.
Ha! Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead and it'll be. I'll say it's like
A
8
silver?
copper. Well, if you buy one for both of you, I'll give you guys a silver for both of you to get some ale.
I'd even buy it.
Okay.
It's on me. You're converting,
All right. So
or
Frederick,
at least that's what I think.
All right. If you say so.
So Frederick, I want you to roll another Constitution saving throw for me here. There's your
All right.
drinking.
That's a 9.
Okay. So you start
I'm
to
rolling so well.
you seem to start to roll it back. Like Branch, you're kind of watching him. Like picture a miniature grin or a smirk on your face as this is happening. And you see him drinking, and he starts leaning backwards further and further into the in his chair, just kind of guzzling down this ale. And then he's just he kind of puts it down on the table, and he kind of looks at you. And you can all look and see Frederick's eyes are just kind of huge saucers, and he's just halfway closed, totally shit-faced drunk now, and he's like, "Yeah, it was great. I think it was great." And Frederick, you lean back and you're like, "I feel good." And it's kind of that drunk moment of, I feel good. You just kind of your head lolls to the side, and you just pass out. So Frederick is unconscious at the table at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
So
Oh,
just
boy.
Or are we just gonna leave him there?
I
Say
think
to
we
Branch.
should probably drag him to a room.
Fair.
And by we, I mean you and Theo.
Feo has
You
a
think
minus
I got muscles? I got
1 to strength.
other-
So.
I also have a -1 to strength.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I guess
and I'm the one with the +4. So it's a big I'm
Beefy
probably
boy.
very yeah, beefy boy and with maybe
Surrounded by
mail
a
on.
skinny wizard and Stebby.
Stabby Boy and Skinny Wizard are gonna drag the big heavy guy up the stairs.
Oh my god, I've even got chainmail on.
I guess I'll help you guys. Oh my god.
Y'all will need 3.
As long as he doesn't throw up in his sleep, we're good.
Oh shit.
It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5:30, so it is getting dark outside. So it's almost nighttime, darkness wise. But if you guys are gonna drag him up to the room, it'll definitely take the 3 of you because he's just a big guy compared to you.
Okay. Well, I guess we
My
should.
god, 5
The
p.m. and I'm
things we
like this.
do for Frederick.
The things I did for y'all.
And you're drunk. You can't even get the information to them. Man, God, talk about problems.
I don't know shit.
I'm just having a dreamless sleep right now. Gonna wake up with a massive headache.
That's why there's magic. You can get rid of that shit.
No,
toss him
I
in a
can
bath?
drink more. Hair of the dog style.
Toss him in a bath. Wake up or drown, bitch.
One or the other.
I mean, it sort of works if it's just a headache.
Just a headache. That's what they all say. It'll be fine. It's just going to be a headache in the morning, and then you wake up going, "Oh my god, that is not just a headache." All right, so I will say that you guys drag him up. The innkeeper kind of is like, "Everything okay?" You're like, "This is fine. We'll deal with it." You put Frederick up there. Somebody, doesn't matter who, go ahead and roll a medicine check for me here. Except for Frederick, you're passed out. Fucking drunk.
Oh, I can't do medicine myself.
Can't medicine yourself.
I rolled the 19.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, plenty high. So Branch, you get him. You guys get him up into the room, and you guys find that there is the room you have. There are only 3 beds. It's a pretty large room, though. Enough space. There's individual beds, so probably one of you is going to have to share, or one of you is going to sleep on the floor. At that point, you guys kind of probably put Frederick in one of the beds and kind of slightly tilt him on his side, kind of on the edge of the bed, just in case he decides to vomit everywhere. But Branch, you make sure, kind of check him. He's still breathing. He's not choking on his vomit or anything like that. And you're like, okay, we're just going to leave him here. And then you guys can do what you want. You can go back down. You can try and explore the sound a little bit. Unfortunately, all the information he learned, none of you know any of it because he didn't tell you.
God
Now,
damn
the
it,
question
Frederick.
is, am I gonna remember it?
You rolled a 1, so maybe not.
I mean, did I
Right.
really drink that much?
Correct. Man literally got blackout drunk.
It's because you
Got
rolled
like a blackout
Gone.
before 10 drinks. Damn.
you know, it's what happens when you roll a 1. Sometimes the dice are just against you. Fate is against you.
Yeah.
Correct.
I guess I'm just more powerful than Frederick.
You have a higher tolerance, probably, is what it is.
I'm gonna call it power.
Higher power. Okay. Higher power.
And
Higher drinking
I'm also
power.
gonna call it a fucked up liver, but
Nah, that's a problem for future Frederick.
I hope so. Anyways, so where were we?
Well, you're
Yes, I'm
drunk,
passed out,
so-
and y'all can do stuff.
Yes. So what do Branch and Calamities want to do?
Um,
I mean, I guess I'll try to ask around the tavern, see if anybody's running wins.
Okay. Go ahead and make a. You can either do it as a perception. I would say investigation or persuasion.
I'm gonna do investigation.
Branch, if you want
Well,
to do the same
it's-
thing, you're welcome to. You don't have to. If you don't
Better
want to.
than persuasion would have been. Not good. Not good at all.
I'll go ahead and do the same thing because I'm pretty curious.
Okay. So what'd you roll? I'm not looking at the
Oh,
website to check your rolls.
Sorry, yeah, my bad. I rolled a 15.
Okay. And Calamities, you said you rolled like a what was it?
I rolled a 7.
7. Okay. For some reason, I thought you said a 3. Okay. So, Calamities, you kind of ask around. You don't really get a whole lot from people. Nobody really, has much to say. They're kind of like, oh yeah, like talk about rumors here. Kind of the same stuff you've heard overall. But there is definitely this vibe that as you go up to walk and talk and ask people questions, they seem to get really quiet when they try to define which side of the war they support. Almost as if they're not sure they can trust you, kind of thing. And it goes on throughout the rest of the night. You do hear a couple of things about you kind of overhear the guards. They're drunk, and somebody's like, okay, just leave them, kind of throw them in a corner, and they'll be fine in a couple hours. But you don't really hear much more about Umarian and the rest that you're looking for, the 4 people. But you do hear towards the end of the night, kind of around 9 o'clock, that there is some kind of weird, like the streets aren't safe at night, but like random carriages can be seen traveling throughout the town, which is really weird. But you don't really get much more than that. Branch, during your investigation, you kind of go the opposite round or way around the room from Calamities for it there. Learning kind of the same bit of information, although you do learn a little bit more about the 4 people you're hunting. They did go kind of in towards the center of town somewhere, but you're not really sure. You kind of narrow it down to maybe one of 2 areas, either the Duke's Fane Ward or the Servants' Borough. One of those 2. You just know it's probably the southern part of the inner city. Same kind of thing, though. You do hear towards the end of the night that there are, like, the streets aren't safe. People tend to stay indoors because there's crime and other things that are happening. The civil guard, you get, like, people say, oh, the guard's trying, but it's kind of a tough deal given the war. Excuse me. But you do hear the same rumors that so there's some kind of commotion going on at a park that's supposed to be closed after dark. You're not sure. People aren't really sure why. They just see carriages there occasionally.
Huh. I think I will go. I'll have to share this information with Frederick, Veo, and Calamities later.
Okay. Yeah, so in terms of your investigation, you guys spend about 5 silver each, kind of buying drinks for people and trying to get people to talk.
Okay.
Okay. And what do you guys want to do? It's about 9 o'clock at night right now.
I'll go ahead and I'll go check on Frederick again, and if he's fine, I think I will probably just take a long rest or go to bed as well.
Okay. Yeah, he's fine. You rolled high enough to keep him from, not suffocating or killing himself.
Can I re-roll so I can get lower? Maybe.
Unfortunately, no. Once you rolled, that's done. All right. Well, Calamities, what do you want to do?
I'll just tell the others about the weird carriages going around town at night. That's all I really got out of it.
Okay. Well, then, are you gonna crash as well, or take a long rest?
Eh? Sleepy time.
All right. Okay. So you guys can all mark off a long rest. I'm gonna mark one off for Feo as well.
Oh. Yay, I'm no longer damaged from falling down.
From falling on the table. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you guys get up in the morning. The innkeeper is downstairs. The inn it was pretty barren in the morning when you guys get up. There's maybe like last night. There's probably over 100 plus patrons in the inn. At this point, there's barely 20, if that. But they do bring you food. Frederick, go ahead and roll. I'll make an intelligence check, or make it a. Yeah, we'll make it a check.
Intelligence?
Yep.
Alright. 7.
Okay.
What are my rolls tonight?
Man, your rolls are shit tonight. Okay, so you. Yeah, so you remember maybe half of the information that you got from the guards. Your face is sore, like the side of your face, but you don't know why.
So half of the information would be what I remember right now as a
Yes.
person.
Fair enough.
To be fair. Actually, no, never mind. I do remember a bit, so I'm gonna say I don't remember the name of the captain.
Okay.
Well, would that be fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright. So don't remember the name of the captain, but apparently they... Shit, what do I remember? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to find my trail of thoughts before having the conversation with them about my conversation.
Or your thoughts for your thoughts.
And damn, that's one headache, and oh, getting up is tough. Actually, do I have to get up at all from the bed?
No, I mean all of you guys are kind of are in the same room unless you guys want to get up and go get food for breakfast. And you guys can have this conversation in your room beforehand. We'll say Feo slept on the floor since he's not here to.
Hell yeah.
I mean, he could sleep on one of the beds with one of us.
No.
Okay.
He's not here. He doesn't get
out
to
of
say.
session tax.
Yeah. I agree.
Comfy sleeping arrangements.
Alright. That's
I say we all go down and eat some breakfast and talk about everything.
I mean,
How Feo slept on the
honestly, it's probably better to sleep on the floor than next to Frederick. So, yeah. We're gonna say that Feo got a win.
Well, Branch kind of lets him rip in his sleep, so he might not want to sleep next to him.
Little smelly.
It's all the good berries.
Oh, good. I mean, those good berries. If you start having more than one, that's some serious bloating and gas. It's not really how it
More
works. It
than
just
best.
sounds so much better, though.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna head downstairs and get some breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah, you do that alone. I'm hangover.
Okay, so,
I force Frederick to come down with
No.
me.
all right. Well, so
No!
Frederick.
It hurts.
So let's see. So you don't have lay on hands, but you do have. What is that? Oh, you're not a life cleric. If you have lesser restoration, I don't think you would. I don't think you're high enough for that.
I do
No,
have
here,
lesser
what?
restoration.
All right. So if you cast
Actually,
lesser restoration on yourself, it'll remove the effects of being hungover.
Screw it. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay. You wake up and are like, "Fuck, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not dealing with this." And then you cast lesser restoration on yourself, and then all of it just washes away, and you feel infinitely better. You're no longer drunk or hungover.
Thank Bahamut.
So just for the record,
You see, if you're one of the faithful, you don't get hangovers.
well, just so everybody knows, there are two ways that I rule in the world that you can get rid of a hangover or get drunkenness, because it's considered poisoned. Is lesser restoration, or you could do lay on hands for 5 hit points. Either one, we'll do that.
What about Hair of the Dog?
I mean, if you can't cast spells, you can certainly go hair of the dog route.
Alright. Perfect. So I
What
guess
about-
we're just
what about some Advil?
nah, it doesn't work.
Advil.
It does not work.
Oh.
Advil's a magic item that casts lesser restoration.
Lesser restoration. Use your magic while you can. That's what you got to do.
Alright. Anyways, maybe we should go downstairs. Or whatever.
Seems like a good plan.
Yeah, I'd like to have a quick chat with all of you.
Yeah, I might have some things to tell about. I must be honest, I don't remember everything.
I wonder
But
why
yes.
that would be.
I also wonder, I
it's
don't
really
remember
shocking.
much of last night.
It's pretty crazy that you don't remember a lot of it, honestly. You only completely passed out at 5 p.m. in a bar chair.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
5
assuming you
p.m.?
don't remember how you got back to the room.
5 p.m. Frederick.
oh fuck. That's bad.
We all carried you up together.
Well, I suppose I should thank you.
Don't do it again. Are you sleeping in a bar chair next to him?
Fair enough.
All right. Well, since you
all right.
guys are down in the common room, you've got your porridge. They brought you some porridge, and they brought a small platter of cheese, of hard cheeses, and a loaf of bread, fresh bread, steaming fresh bread, even.
Mm.
You guys can talk and have your conversation.
I love steaming fresh bread. I'm gonna
Fuck,
shovel
so
it in
what
my
do I
mouth.
actually remember IRL?
This is where you need to be like Elodie and just take notes, because then you would know.
I have notes too. I have
Fair.
not been notating other people's conversations though.
Okay, so from what I remember, the guards actually, I believe it was that Duke's Fane ward that they caused the trouble. And apparently their captain sort of just let these bad people go. So if anybody does know something about maybe where they went or anything, it would be the captain, because if I remember correctly, they did not know where the scary looking gentleman went. That's all I remember. Which is about 25% of what was said, but fair.
I'll take it.
So yeah, we should maybe head towards Duchesvane Ward, this massive district of a massive town. And where to look? I don't know. Who was your captain again?
Well, while you think about that, I got some hot news.
Oh
So
yeah?
apparently, there's supposed to be some hot action at a park near the south central part of Tarrin
Huh.
at night. So I was thinking maybe, we stay up a little bit later this night. Branch glares at Frederick, and we can go try and roam the streets for a bit and figure out what's going on.
I suppose that would be a fair idea. So, what about you, Polarities? Have you, figured anything?
Just that there were rumors about weird chariots going around at night. The streets weren't safe. Not a lot.
Well, the Foo Fighters can make the streets safe again.
Yeah, Foo
Make
Fighters.
Tarrin safe again. Is that what I'm hearing? That's gonna be the motto.
Make Taryn safe again.
But
At
who are the
night.
Foo Fighters?
What about the Foo Fighters?
But who are they?
You tell me.
Some say that they're one and the same with Muhammad's chosen holy crusaders or whatever the fuck.
Bahamut's chosen servants of Bahamut's chosen servants of the Holy Crusade. Yes. God
It's so
damn it,
long
that
you
name
can't
is
even
long.
remember it yourself. All the details. All right. Well, what do you guys want to do? He's gonna do anything specific?
I
Um,
guess that during the day, what we can do is maybe try and investigate a bit
Yeah, we
and
could
do
try and scout
Shinward.
around
Maybe
this.
try and find out who that captain of the guard is, although there's probably lots inside the town.
So Fail could explain a little bit better on the civil guard and how it functions a little bit. So for a
Oh.
town this size, there's probably a sergeant. It's probably going to be the top person in charge of the town, of the civil guard. Given the size, there's probably anywhere between 5 and 8, maybe slightly more, captains of the guards. There's not a whole lot. In terms
Okay.
of captains, they typically oversee anywhere from maybe 100 to 200 soldiers or civil guard, with various lieutenants that do different things. And in a town this big, you're assuming there's probably, or he assumes there's probably close to maybe 2 to 3,000 of the 20,000 people that live here are estimated. So about a tenth of the population maybe is going to be civil guard.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Know what?
you guys all know that the Empire takes like the Civil Guard and like police forces in the cities are very well. They're kind of like they're kind of a combination of a police force, but also like civil
Army.
service of everything. So like if you
Oh,
have a
okay.
question like I'm lost, how do I get here? They're the first person you go and ask. They're kind of
Gotcha.
that type of. That's why there's so many because there's like people always around to
Gotcha.
help.
Okay, makes sense.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's once you leave
So
the cities that it becomes a lot more rural. You're like, okay, hey, there's no civil guard anywhere. Like you're on your own.
gotcha. All right. So how about we head there after breakfast?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna let you two take the lead on this since you both seem to have gotten more substantial information than I.
Okay, so where are you guys
All right.
going specifically? So I know.
So we're gonna head towards Duke's Fane Ward for now,
Okay. All right. So
and we're gonna. You know what? I'm gonna ask around about the incident about the trampling from the other day and towards where it happened.
okay. So go ahead and make. We'll start with the first part. Like if you guys are heading that direction, go ahead and make a investigation or persuasion check. Persuasion
Okay.
means you're going to potentially use money or some way to bribe people or buy things to kind of people to talk to you. Investigation is just literally you just asking questions and seeing how lucky you get.
I mean, I have a better check for persuasion, so I'm gonna go with persuasion.
Okay.
So 22.
22. Holy shit.
Damn.
You are so persuasive that I would say at most you spend maybe 2 silver. And it's mostly just you guys going around, maybe shopping at like stalls or people you're going by and buying like, oh, I'm gonna buy some meat pies or I'm gonna buy some jerky. You know, really just kind of munching
I
food
have
as you guys
one
are going.
tangerine.
Tangerines, exactly. Buy some more
Tangerines.
All right. Well, Frederick, so you guys are kind of near the lower market area, and as you're making your way towards the Duke's Fane Ward, you start asking questions, and you luckily you're in the area where, or not. I'm sorry, you're not in the area. They've already been down the road to the north. Um, but you talk to people and you hear from people that were in that area or heard about it, what was going on. They say that the people that got trampled, they're okay. They were, a couple broken bones here or there, but no major injuries. Kind of people kind of jumped out of the way for the most part. However, the people that you do manage to find some information about are like it was really weird. Like people were shouting at them to slow down. There were civil guard running after them, but once they made it kind of to the Duke's Fane Ward area or that section of town, like all of the commotion just slowly died down and nobody seemed to care. People are like, "That's really weird. How can what can you do? Like, why can these people do it?" They do describe that there were 4 people. They describe a man was a bald man for one.
Mhm.
There was a large earth genasi who had 2 axes on his back. And whenever he would look at somebody,
Motherfucker.
the runes on his hands would glow. And then there was a woman that was with them too. She was carrying this weird looking staff with a crystal on top. And they're just like, it was really strange. Like she would pick up something off the ground. Like somebody's like, oh yeah, she picked up this rock and it would just float above her hand. And then she would throw it in the air and it would just fall like a feather. It was really weird. Clearly she was some kind of spellcaster. But then they say that the 4th person was probably the most creepy of all of them. No one could ever see his face. He always had some kind of hood up with a mask covering kind of like from his entire mouth and nose. So you really could only maybe see his eyes, but that was all covered in shadows. And there was this bird, like a misty blackish raven that seemed to just be made of smoke. That was always on his, like he held it up like a hawk. Like so when people go hawking, they have the hawk in their hand. It's the same kind of thing. And it's just creepy the whole time. But from the descriptions you hear, you're pretty positive. These are the 4 people that were in Kiev. It's definitely them.
Fucking nerd
Yeah.
Nazi.
That's definitely Now, can I somehow find some information about where they were headed towards?
Sure. So one thing you guys notice as you guys get into the inner city and into the Duke's Fane Ward section of town, the town seems to it's split almost in half. It kind of follows one of the streets going a zigzag pattern for that eastern side of the river. The southern portion where the Duke's Fane Ward is, there are very fancy houses compared to everyone else. All of the houses are minimum 3 stories tall. They all have tiled roofing, whitewashed, or some kind of wood paneling that's been polished. They don't have large yards, but there's kind of like the houses in London. There's not really a yard there, but everything's gated. Everything's well maintained. As you go further south into the Duke's Fane Ward, the houses get bigger and more elaborate. But they definitely were heading either towards the center or the southern part of Duke's Fane Ward. This is definitely the expensive part of town.
Okay.
Yeah, you notice also that people here, most townsfolk, dress in linens or maybe some wool clothing. Nothing, fancy at all. But in this part of town, lots of people are wearing very nice cotton clothing. A couple of them have silk scarves. Definitely, they've got money, and they are not afraid to flaunt it.
Damn.
All right. Rich people.
Um,
Damn it.
it's pretty light out, right? It's probably midday or morning.
Yeah, so I would say it's maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. You guys got
Okay.
up early, and from where you guys were and walking with all of Frederick's questions, it probably took you maybe about an hour and a half to get here. So yeah, so 10:30.
All right. Okay. So y'all want to head towards there?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Then let's go.
Okay. Well, I'll say you guys are in that area right now. Pretty easy.
All right.
Your high roll paid off.
Hell yeah. Can I start? I'm keeping my eyes peeled for a park of any sort.
Okay. Well, there are various parks throughout the city. You guys pass some of them. None of them are particularly large. Maybe there's a couple of parks where you pass by. It's kind of like an open form. There'd be benches and trees, grassy area for people to sit and kind of hang out. But so I would say one thing you did learn yesterday is that from wherever this park is that people are going at night, it's more of not necessarily a park, but a park slash cemetery, kind of a mix of both.
Okay.
You don't pass anything that size in this part of town. In fact, Branch, go ahead and make a wisdom check, just a straight wisdom roll.
Okay. It is a 21.
Ooh, damn. Nice roll.
Damn.
Now we got the high rolls coming in.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So one thing as you guys are wandering, you're pretty confident that there's not going to be a cemetery anywhere even close to this area of town. Given it's probably part of the older part of town as well for the inner wall, odds are you're pretty confident that if there was a cemetery at some point and the city kind of grew over it, it would be in the outer, not in the inner circle. It would be in the outer portions of the city.
Okay.
With that roll, I will even tell you, kind of through conversations you overhear, there are probably several cemetery park areas either near the Tunnel Market, the Wood District, or Coin Farthing. So kind of that
Let's go to
section
the
of
wood.
town.
But we're all the way in the
You're in
Duke's Ward right now.
Duke's Fane Ward. You got it.
Right.
That's kind of a far walk. Um, should we prioritize that? Do you guys think, or should we keep
I mean,
investigating in this area?
didn't you say it was during the night?
Yeah.
So I guess we can go for that, but later. Like we're
That's true.
Bunch of
So that's
spooky stuff
everything.
going on.
Everything we kind of need to do right now is in the night.
Yeah.
true. You know what? Fair. We could just head there, find something to do. In the meanwhile,
Yeah, I guess we could always find the cemetery.
We could hide
Now.
out too.
Yeah.
Stake out. Stake out.
Stake out. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So then.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All right. Well, do you guys want to go shopping or do anything? You have like the entire day. It's a long time.
shopping. I'm not particularly rich, so perhaps not.
Um.
I mean, if y'all find nothing
Yeah.
better to do, maybe I'm gonna spend some time to dedicate to Bahamut.
Okay.
I think I want to go to a shop. Maybe I think I want a dagger.
Okay. Yeah. So there are several blacksmith shops around town. The two that are recommended is one called Iron Designs, and the other one is called Ingot This.
Got this. Which one is would be closer to where we're currently at?
I will say the Ingot This one.
Okay.
Like it's not so like the inner part of the city doesn't really have shops or anything, but on your way to the Wood District and Coin Farthing and Tunnel Market, those are where shops are. So the Ingot This is in that section of town.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start heading over there then.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys want to join me.
Yeah,
Okay. So
I will certainly join.
Calamities, are you joining too, or are you going someplace else?
No, I'm cool with joining.
Okay. So you guys walk, kind of just chit chatting and enjoying the city. One thing you do know is there are a lot of people, lots of things to see. It's kind of like if any of us have been to a city. It's just like that, people everywhere.
Actually, I've never been to a city. I certainly don't live in one.
Well, you don't have to live in one to have been to one, where you're just like, God damn it, there's people everywhere. Not just people everywhere, but there are people peeing on the streets, going, "Hey,
Ew.
man,
Oh, God.
could get some money." Bums everywhere, same kind of thing. So actually, on that note, you do see at various points there are people huddled against buildings where they don't look like they're necessarily like beggars, just victims of the war. It's kind of what you've seen on the road before, disheveled, huddled together, not really sure what to do with their lives at this point. For it, definitely can tell that the war has had an effect on them. They're probably just here, just looking for safety, but have nowhere to go, nothing to do. But as you find the Ingot This, you see a sign over the double doors that lead into it. And there is a picture of what looks like to be a silver ingot and a middle finger, somebody flipping off the ingot.
Great.
You open the door, and there's a dwarf in there, and he goes, what do you want?
Branch, I believe it was you who wanted to.
Yeah, I've just had this aching or this yearning for a dagger, I feel like that would come in handy eventually. So I was wondering if I could buy one off you. If you had a
Kind of looks you
extra
up. And,
dagger lying on.
yeah, he looks you up and down. You can hear the ringing of the anvil in the background. Someone else is definitely working the forge and making items. And he goes, huh. Kind of spits. And he goes, kind of dagger you looking for? You gonna shave with it or nothing? Are you planning to? He kind of walks up and pokes you with a finger. Kind of end some lives, if you know what I mean. And he kind of winks at you.
Yeah, something like that. Just a sharp one, preferably. Just
Well, do you want sharp or pointy? That's a big difference.
uh, we'll go sharp.
All right, so you're that kind of guy. Well, we don't judge. And he kind of pokes you in the stomach and he goes, over here. Leads you over to a kind of a display case. And there's just a bunch of knives in the display case, like on display for you. There are various thick ones that are more slashing, or more of the piniard ones, which are more of the stab ones. Just be price in the book, which is offhand. Let me find out. So the dagger prices range here for him from anywhere from a gold, which you can tell by the quality. They're just quickly made, nothing fancy, all the way up to 3 gold, which are definitely going to be much more sturdy and finer materials.
Okay. Yeah, I want a solid dagger, so I'll chuck out 3 gold for a dagger.
Okay. So you find one. He kind of lets you like look at him, test the edges. He talks about the craftsmanship with them, and for 3 gold, you can tell you're definitely getting a great quality dagger that'll last. Afterward, he thanks you for your business and makes some offhanded, rude comment, and then this is pretty much as you're leaving, he goes "fuck off" and flips you off and laughs.
All right.
It was a great experience, you guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
How was it in there?
It was good. You should go check it out. I think it's a great place for
Oh,
fathers
really?
and
Go in.
So you walk in, Frederick.
I totally walk in.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys all could have followed him. He probably would have been in the place for like 20 minutes at least, getting a dagger. But if you all stood outside and go back in now, you would see the same dwarf.
Okay. I thought I stayed outside. Never mind.
Yeah, it's up to you. Totally doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm gonna say I stayed outside and now I'm going in.
Okay.
Like, oh, there's something good in there.
All right. So the same dwarf, as he seems to be walking away from the door, and he's putting his hand down. And he goes, "What do you want?"
Actually, I was thinking, you see this mall here is pretty old. I was thinking, do you have anything of a higher quality?
And he goes, "Well, anything you gotta get is higher quality than what you got already." Know what I mean? And he kind of elbows you. You take them all out and show it to him, and he goes, well, this is shit craftsmanship. Who the fuck made this? He goes, I wouldn't even pay you a copper for this shit. He kind of leads you over to a rack of weapons. There's swords and swords and great swords and mauls and maces and everything you could possibly think of. And he pulls one out off the wall, and he pulls it and shows it to you. And it's got a solid metal staff, or it looks solid metal, but the end is a capped metal piece for it. And he kind of swings it around it a few times, and then he tosses it to you. You can grab it out of the air, and as you're holding it, you're like, this feels really light. And he kind of laughs at you, and he goes, unlike them other shit blacksmiths, we don't make the bar out of solid metal. It's too heavy. This one will do you right, properly balanced.
How much for it?
So he shows you different ones in various types, but they range anywhere from
Right.
8 gold up to as much as 15.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna get one of those very fancy malls.
Okay. Do you have one already?
I do have one already.
Okay. So wish we could do this.
Now the question is, do I get to have better quality or?
I don't think. I wish they could do like masterwork stuff like we used to be able to do in third edition. That would be amazing. Because I would love for you guys to be like, hey, I spent extra money and get a masterwork item. Let me flip
Ooh.
it.
Nice.
Fun.
Hmm. Wonder. Okay, so I'm gonna have you Branch and Frederick both. For the maul that you have and the dagger you got, if you click on customize, like click on the weapon and click customize,
Okay.
there's an option that says damage bonus.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and just add 1.
Ooh.
Huh.
We'll say that's a masterwork version of it. You can rename them all too, or the dagger.
Alright, I'm gonna call them all mall but cool. Or just Bahamut's chosen mall.
I mean, it does need a name at this point.
Yes. Screw it. Everything is just Bahamut's chosen of the Holy Crusade.
Bahamut's chosen holy mace of the Crusade, some shit like that, or maul.
Chosen mall. Chosen mall of the Holy Crusade. I don't want to have the word holy twice. It's a bit too much.
Just
This is already too much.
you just say Bahamut's chosen mall. I mean, that's pretty good.
I do like chosen mall of the Holy Crusade though.
Okay, whatever, keep whatever you want. All right. Well, so I mean,
Alright. I'll take it.
okay. Well, it's just you
Let's
spend
go.
about another 20 minutes. Branch, I don't know if you come back in or not, or Calamities.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm alright. I got
Um,
my rapier.
Yeah. So as you leave, Frederick, you kind of swinging your maul around. You're like, yeah, it feels good. And you go, all right, get the fuck out of here, and he flips you off as well. Kind of laughs and flips you off.
I laugh with him and go out.
Okay. So it took you guys about say about 45 minutes to an hour to walk there, or about 45 minutes probably with the traffic with everything, and then you guys were there for 40 minutes ish. So we'll say an hour. So it's about noon time at this point. If you guys are going to eat your rations, you can eat your rations, or if you prefer, you can stop somewhere and get food. Up to you, however you guys want to do it. If you stop and get food, it just costs money.
I'm good
Alright.
eating rations. We can stop for food too. I do not mind.
I mean, we could get a meal.
I
mean, we're
got
in
all the
town.
meals I
I don't
need.
know how long we're gonna stay in town.
I'm gonna cast a good berry, and I'm gonna eat a berry.
Good berry it is.
Y'all really don't care about good food, do you?
Anybody else care for a berry?
I'll eat a berry.
Oh hell yeah!
Don't! It'll make you shit your
I'm gonna
pants!
stare Frederick. I'm gonna stare him down while I pop it in my mouth.
All right, well, if you have a good berry, you are fine for the day. You don't need any food or water. The magic will sustain you.
Delicious.
Okay, so you guys said you're going to go to one of those sections and kind of look for the park. You think it might be it?
Yeah.
Sounds good, yeah.
All of you can go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Yay.
All right, investigation it is.
24.
Oh my god.
Or
Not one.
Oh shit!
4, 4,
2 plus
24.
1.
Wow, guys. Okay. So all of you are kind of like Branch and Frederick. You're like, look at our new weapons. These are so great. Like, oh man, that guy was awesome. And you're kind of like laughing and telling stories. Well, like, meanwhile, while you guys are wandering, you're kind of just not really paying
He
attention.
flipped me off.
You're not really paying attention as Paladimides is like, come on, guys, this way, this way. It's kind of like you two are having a conversation. You look up, and Paladimides is like 50 feet in front of you. You're like, shit, we gotta catch up. Kind of moment. But it takes you guys the better part of about 3 to 4 hours searching around until you find what looks to be, in Paladimides 3 you're asking around too, you find up the park or the graveyard that kind of people are like, yeah, you know, all the parks are closed at night. But we've heard of like commotion over it near this one. So the park opens up. It's a walled off park with trees and grass, but there is a gate that goes into it, and there's a chain that hangs on the gate during the day. You can tell if they close it at night. But the park has a path or a road that kind of like a dirt road, more or less, like a gravel path, wide enough for a carriage that kind of swirls around through the opening or the park area, which is, in terms of size, the park's probably about maybe 500 to 600 feet across widthwise, and then maybe about 1,000 feet wide for it. But at the far end of the park, on the back end, there is a fenced off area which leads into a graveyard. There's various mausoleums and crypts there, but people are kind of there paying their respects. When people come to the park, I'm pretty sure this is the location.
Oh, this looks promising, you guys. Well, not promising because it is like a graveyard, but like it looks like where we need to be.
Perhaps, perhaps.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty promising place to stake out. I don't really.
I've no idea what we're doing here, even. I've just been staring at this mole. Look at it, it's so shiny!
Damn it, Frederick, we're here to stake out the graveyard. People are coming to. You know? Suspicious
Just-
fun.
Yes! That. But look at it!
It's a nice mall. Right?
Indeed, I paid for it myself.
Have you seen this? And then I pull out my dagger.
Oh, that's a beautiful dagger. Where did you get it? Oh, wait, I know. Never mind. Sorry. Alright, anyways, I guess we're just gonna wait there.
Okay. So are you guys just gonna
Oh,
hang out
I
in
would
the
like-
park, or?
Well, I thought I want to investigate it a little bit and see if we can see any just like any signs of like activity, I guess.
Sure. So go ahead and make an investigation check for me here. Fucking Christ, man.
Uh,
5. So you wander.
Calamities? Little help?
Well, Branch is the one doing it, so in this case. So Branch, you walk into the graveyard. And you know, like, right down the center there's a wide open path. And you can't really tell it's gravel. You're like, okay, if there was a cart or wagons or whatever here, you'd never be able to tell at this point. But off the main path, there are it goes around in a kind of a squarish rectangle around on various parts. I mean, the whole area. I'll just send you guys the picture I'm referencing, so it'll make it easier. But at the back end of the cemetery, there is another exit. It's just a set of stairs that goes down onto the road. Trying to do what it won't let me do. There we go. So the only difference from the picture from what you guys are actually seeing, so the top building isn't there. That's where the park is. So the gate's kind of at the top center. That's the gate that comes in, and there's just gravel road. But otherwise, the graveyard just looks designed like that.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna walk around. Not really looking for anything in particular, just like trying to be aware of my surroundings.
Okay. I think there's people, putting flowers and visiting graves. Nobody really is like, what are you doing here kind of moment. It definitely seems it's open to the public during the day.
All right.
So around what time is it right now?
So right now it's around 2 o'clock.
Okay. Huh. Um. Hmm.
Maybe we can come back later. I don't think there's much going on right now. If we stay here too long, maybe we're the ones who are gonna look sketchy.
That's true. But what else would we do before?
I don't know. Whatever's fun.
That
What's
can be a
fun,
lot of
Frederick?
things.
Shit, what is fun?
We could hide behind
Uh,
people's crypts or gravestones and scare people. That
Okay, I wanted to see if I had like a game set or something in my backpack. Apparently I don't. Alright.
Branch is the person at the graveyard where they hide behind the gravestone, and then a little kid comes up and goes, "Hi, Grandma!" And you go, "Rawr!" and scare the kid.
God damn it.
And
And
this
I'm
kid's
just
screaming,
gonna like,
Grandma!
I'm gonna go to a random adult and I'm just gonna go, do you have games on your phone?
What's a phone?
God damn it.
I'm so tired of that one. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, if we're gonna be out late, we could always take an afternoon nap at the park.
Yeah, you can nap, and I'm gonna. What would Frederick do? I don't see Frederick as having many hobbies. Oh, pray. Definitely pray.
Jesus. That's fair. It's not like I have a ton of stuff on me either to hang out. Just got my crowbar and shovel, look extra sketchy.
Yeah, there's nothing
Yeah, I was
sketchy
hoping
about being in a graveyard with a crowbar
With a
and a
crowbar
shovel.
and a shovel, yeah, there's nothing.
Well, so what are you guys planning? You guys planning on just kind of trying to figure out some way to hang out, or whatever the case may be?
I guess.
Okay, so I will say that you guys are gonna be there for a few hours for sure. So you guys kind of wander around, don't find anything that stands out whatsoever. People come and go. Nobody seems to pay any attention to you guys. You guys go to the park area. And there are benches, and like you can sit under the trees or whatever you'd like. It is wintertime, so the trees, don't have any leaves on them. But you can still sit under them. After a while, people kind of start to notice that you're hanging out, but nobody really says anything. Like a couple people that have been there for a while, like also look at you as they get up and leave, but that's about it. Nobody is like, "Oh, look at that strange person." if you guys want to stay in the park, you know that as it's starting to get dark, fewer and fewer people are there, and the cemetery and the park are starting to empty out. You're pretty sure that somebody's going to come by at some point and be like, "Hey, you got to leave." The other option is the southern part, where the gate is on the other side of the cemetery that leads to a main road, or like not a main road, but to a street.
Yeah.
There are buildings on the other side of the street, and there's alleyways and things you can hide in there if you want to try and stay in the shadows out of the way so nobody bothers you. It's up to you guys what you want to do. You could do the same thing on the other side of where the park is, the other side of the park. There's houses over there.
All right.
Buildings.
See, the intelligent thing would be to do that, but is Frederick intelligent?
You tell us.
I don't think so. But is Frederick surrounded by intelligent fellas?
I feel like we all share a brain cell,
Not
and one of us is using it
but
at any given
not a
time.
genius.
Because Frederick's probably just gonna remain like seated on a bench or whatever.
I think we should like try and hide in some bushes, or or in a
Why?
tree or something.
No.
It's
All right.
dangerous at night, isn't it?
I mean, it's true. That's what they say.
Is it?
And if the dangerous people come by, we don't want them to be suspicious of us right away.
Right. Bushes it is, but okay, I guess we'll hang out in the bushes.
Okay. So we'll say you guys are with Branch's help are smart enough to kind of be like, when the last few people leave and there's nobody around, you guys go like, okay, let's go hide in the bushes. So if somebody else comes by, nobody sees you. Everyone go ahead and roll a stealth check. Roll with advantage.
Ooh. $25.
15.
Frederick with the 8.
8.
Jesus, Frederick.
Oh my!
Did you roll with advantage?
I did.
Jesus Christ, man.
Good.
Oh my god. Okay. So, you guys camp
I'm
out.
not a lucky person.
Let's see. So at one point, you guys see a set of civil guard kind of walk through the park, kind of look around, make sure there's nobody around. You see them coming from the cemetery area. They walk through the park looking for people, don't see anybody. They don't even seem to be half paying attention. Like, you're like, okay, they couldn't even, like, if they walked over to us, they probably would have seen us, but they're totally not paying attention. You watch them as they walk to the north gate, or to the other gate, the one that you guys originally came in. They close the gates, and then you see them lock the gates behind them. And they kind of shake the gates, and everything's fine. You guys are in this area by yourselves. Are you guys just going to kind of hang out? It's dark out now at this point. You're just going to hang out and see if anything happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want
All right.
everyone except for... who was around 25? Calamities, was it?
That's me. Yep.
All right, everyone else, roll another stealth check for me here. The Branch, you and Frederick kind of get antsy, waiting.
With
Calamities is like, fuck
advantage?
this. With advantage, yeah.
With a
okay.
okay, 24.
18.
Okay. So Branch, you're like kind of looking at Frederick. I should roll for fail. I'm gonna say he rolled well because I rolled not too bad. Okay, so you guys are all four of you guys are kind of hanging out behind the bushes. Like Frederick and Branch, you guys are kind of like chit chatting a little bit, and Plemons is like, "Shut the fuck up." You guys start to kind of quiet down and focus a little bit, kind of be quiet. About around 8 o'clock, 8:30. It's getting cold out at this point. It's in the low 50s, or let's say high 40s, I should say. I know that's not very Frederick for you. That's probably, I don't even know what that would be in Celsius for you. It's chilly, but it's not like cold, or not like freezing cold.
Okay, so what Fahrenheit is it?
We'll say it's about 48 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So for you in Canada, that's probably like, hey, it's summer weather.
Actually, not summer, more like spring,
Okay.
like
Spring
early
here.
spring.
Early spring. Okay. Yeah. So
No, late spring. I mean,
yeah. So it's like because it's wintertime, you're not close near the mountain. The city is not near the mountains. It's far enough inland, so it's not cold or super cold. But around 9:30 ish, you see some commotion or hear some commotion at the gates to the north. Um, Everyone, go to make a perception check for me here.
Ooh.
oh, perception.
I'm too busy being sneaky to perceive.
Oh, hell yeah. 22.
21.
Ooh, very nice rolls.
Oh.
Except for Calamities. Calamities, you're just like focused stealth.
Zeroed in on being undetectable.
No,
He's
you're
got
just
that,
so bothered by how unstealthy we are that you're just looking at us.
yeah.
Sitting
He's
here
got
fuming, like, shut the fuck up.
that John Cena, you can't see me kind of vibe going. So Calamities, I'm sorry, Branch and Frederick, you hear some commotion. It sounds like somebody's opening one of the gates. And after a few moments, maybe about 2 minutes later, you hear the gates scrape along the gravel. And sure enough, a man you all recognize, big hulking Earth Genasi, comes lumbering down the dirt path. Along with him looks to be a hooded figure, two hooded figures actually. One of them has a shadowy raven on his arm, and it's very difficult to see in the darkness of the raven. You can't hear what they're saying. They seem to be kind of whispering to each other, but they're all keeping their eyes open, paying attention. After you kind of observe them, they go into the graveyard, and before you guys can react, you hear more commotion, and you see a carriage start to slowly make its way down the gravel path towards the graveyard. You guys just going to observe, or going to try and intervene or do anything?
Oh, I'm definitely just observing for now. Fuck that,
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Not ready to get
I'm
back
s-
to stabbing.
Look,
I want to do something. I don't want to
like
put
heretics,
these guys in-
but I don't want to kill myself.
Fair enough. Okay, so over the next hour of you guys standing there observing, you see about 8 carriages come and go. And you're not sure how many people get dropped off. There's the gates and the hedges where to the end of the graveyard, so you know that they're being dropped off or going into the graveyard, but you can't see exactly where, like which building they're going into. You think it's probably one of the northern 2 buildings on the picture.
All right.
At one point, though, you see the big man, the Earth Genasi, and the hooded man with the guy with the bird. The 2 of them kind of make a quick round around the graveyard, and then they leave. And they go back the way they came, and they close the gate behind them. You hear them locking it back up as the last carriage leaves.
So now that the terrifying looking gentlemen are gone, I guess we could try and check in one of those 2 northern buildings.
Absolutely. I think we should check out
Yeah.
both of them just to be safe.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
And I think we should check them one at a time.
Okay. So all of you guys. No, you don't have to make a stealth check. So you guys rolled high enough before. So you guys kind of make your way over there trying to be stealthy. I'll just use your same rolls. You get to the first one, the northernmost one on the picture. And it's a mausoleum, but there's no visible, there's a door, but there's no visible latch or anything to the door.
Okay.
So go ahead and make an investigation check for me for whoever's going to look around.
Alrighty. Please roll high. 16, middle.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
So I got her 16 and 22, was it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys search the first one, kind of looking around. You can see that there's people were walking, like there's recent travel here, and you can see that the carts or the carriages kind of went up to this and maybe stopped, but nobody got out of the carriages. And then at the second building, you can tell there are like indentations where people jumped out of their carriages and they walked up to the mausoleum, the second mausoleum. But again, it's a solid stone slab. There's no like obvious entrance. But Branch, because you rolled really high, you notice that there is a set of what looks to be scones or like lantern things, all like sconces, I think is what they're called. I don't know, call them scones. Sconces on the side of the building, and one of them on the right looks like it's not as dusty as the others.
I'm with it.
Okay, you fiddle with it and you feel it like it twists a little bit, and then you're like, okay, and you turn it to its side, and you hear this poof, as the stone slab opens up slightly. Revealing a
Hey
hallway.
guys, check it out.
Hell yeah.
I go in.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in right behind him.
Okay, so interestingly enough, as you enter into the mausoleum, there is, you would expect some kind of tomb or crypt right in the center of the room, but there actually is nothing there. It just goes in a few feet, and then there's a set of stairs that goes down into the ground. You can hear faint echoes of sound down below.
Let's try not to make sounds.
I mean, I'm good being sneaky.
I think we're okay making sounds.
Okay, well, Frederick, if you don't want to make sounds, roll a stealth check.
All right. That is a 7.
Ooh, okay. You're not.
Yeah.
You're like, I got this, guys. I'm not gonna make any noise. And the rest of you are kind of like, yeah, whatever, dude. You're not good at this kind of vibe. All right, so you go down these set of stairs, and they go down about 15 feet before they start to curve and wrap around. It is dark. There's no light that you can see unless you guys have dark vision. You guys are basically just putting your hand against the wall and trying to follow the stones. But you do find yourselves finally, after about another 10 feet of the stairs kind of curving. So you assume you're probably underneath the cemetery at this point. Maybe kind of like you're looking at the map, it'd be under where the road portion is, right in front of the mausoleum. You've kind of done a U-turn essentially.
Gotcha.
But you start to hear the commotion. It starts to get louder, and it sounds like chanting of some kind. And you actually walk out or step out, and you can see out in front of you there is what looks to be like a balcony that overlooks down into a much larger area. There's at the end of the walkway of where you are is the beginning of the balcony, which goes to the left of where you are. But just down below you can see there's lights, and that's where the chanting is coming from.
Oh god.
Oh, hell nah.
Not the
Hey,
cheat.
guys.
When I say hell nah, I mean hell no.
Y'all are...
Hello.
Hey,
Oh, hi.
How's it going?
welcome. We're under a cemetery right now.
Yes, we are
Wait,
under
where?
a cemetery.
Are we dead?
No.
No,
That's a
no,
good question.
we're
We're
under-
trying to not be.
I hope we're not dead.
We're not dead. Maybe
Oh,
we
hell
are
no
going to be
the
dead.
chanting, but
Oh, God.
also
I mean, we don't know. We never know.
Yeah, I want to see the map.
I'm
Alright.
sensing some cultish vibes.
Ooh.
I don't know about you guys. But
Heresy!
I remember when we all had like visions back in that island.
Mm-hmm.
That like I had visions of like a cult, and I don't know, something's telling me this is like this is adding up a bit. I'm starting to put some pieces of the puzzle together, just not all of it.
I simply believe that some purification can be made.
Looks at the mall.
Not the heretics.
right, so are you guys gonna kind of walk up to the balcony or kind of look over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be
You're over the
sneaky
balcony.
about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're gonna try and be sneaky about it, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Except for Frederick, you can't. You already failed. Or not really failed, but
18.
I've got too much chainmail on me. It's doing those.
it's making all the noise.
Yeah, all that
Clankety
noise.
clank clank.
All right, so
Clank, clank.
we got Calamities with a 18 branch. What did you roll for? If you're gonna do a stealth check on this,
Oh, I suppose I will. That's a 25.
okay.
Holy
So
moly.
the two of you kind of inch your way forward. Frederick is kind of like heresy under his breath, and you guys are like, okay, shut up for a moment. You walk to kind of lean over the edge of the balcony. You're not really lean over, but you kind of look over the edge of it as you're getting close to it. Again, to your left, it goes down about maybe 60 feet, and then you can see there's a set of stairs or some kind of opening about 60 feet down to your left that seems to lead down into the chamber below. But what you see down below you guys is there are 9 people, hooded figures. They all seem to be chanting. You can see that 4 of them are facing away from you. You can't see them. They're wearing black robes or like black cloaks over their heads and bodies. The 4 people on the other side that you can see, they have these almost looks like onyx masks that just completely cover their entire face. Completely no lips, no nothing, just eye holes and nostril holes. That's it. And you can hear them all chanting. At the head, they're standing around like what looks to be like an altar. And on the altar is a woman that's kind of thrashing at the moment. It looks like they're either maybe casting a spell upon her or doing something. You're not really sure. But she seems to be thrashing and there's foam coming from her mouth. There is a man at the head of at the top of the altar, and he's got his hands raised and he's chanting the loudest of everyone. But that's what you see at the moment. But it is a little late, so we are going to end there, and that's where we will pick up next time.